Hey everybody, it's Lebo with Lebo's Pinball. So, Junkyard, we've got this game planned to take to Cincinnati here in just a few weeks. And so we've been starting to work on just doing a few little things to try to get it done before we head out to the show. We put in a color DMD, we've been changing out some of the bulbs, we still got a few more little odds and ends to do here or there. Couple little things. I need to put in OCD LED boards. I got those ordered, they should be here soon. We'll pop that in. It'll help smooth out some of the flicker that's involved with going to some of these non-ghosting LEDs that are in here. The non-ghosting LEDs. These are the ones that are just going to be. It's going to smooth out the pure LEDs that are in here. And we've added a few other little extra things in here. But one thing that I've noticed on this game and actually some of the other WPC 95 games in particular, I think on the regular WPCs as well, but the sound quality, it's just a little harsh. There's kind of a weird imaging that I get from this panel. Never been real crazy about it. I know, like another game, the Champion Pub's another game I really enjoy, and the one that I've played a lot has kind of had like this harsh sound to it. And I noticed that with this Junkyard, there's something kind of similar. So today we got something that we're going to go throw in here. This is not the whole full pin sound setup like I did on my getaway, but this is something with flipper Fidelity. So we're going to give this a try. It's a new subwoofer and it's new speakers that are up here, but they're matching speakers. The ones that are in here originally, you got a small little 3.5 inch speaker, I think it is, and either a 5 or 5.25 inch or something that's on this side, and it's just it's just not real great. So we're going to try putting this in. It also has an attenuation where you can adjust the volume between what's coming out of the woofer at the bottom and here. So hopefully they'll kind of help us be able to maybe tone that side down a little bit more and let the woofer do its job and maybe overall balance better. So let's get started, see what we got in the box. What's in the box? And get it in the game. So let's get going. All right, let's open this box. I have not had it open yet, so we're all gonna see what's in here at the same time. Hopefully there's no big major surprises, or at least no bad surprises. All right, let's open it up. See what all we got. All right, well, we've got a couple little adapter pieces. I can tell this is gonna be for the 8-inch subwoofer that goes down in the bottom, so that'll be a new mounting plate for that. This, I am certain, is going to go on the right-hand side of the panel so that we can mount in the new 5-inch speaker. I'm sure that's what that's for. So we got here, I'm not really sure what we got here. Well, the installation instructions and looks like some kind of a tape or something. I don't know. We'll be figuring that out. Looks like a little cable, and I guess we're going to have a few different things in here. Where did I put my knife? Here we go. This should be the 8-inch subwoofer. Yeah, it actually says right here. We'll just leave that in the box for now. Set this over to the side. We're going to have, should be a pair of the 5-inch woofers. There should be coaxials, I believe. Yeah, a couple 5-inch speakers there. And then one other thing should be in the box, and here it is. This is the volume control. So this we'll mount in there somewhere. I'm sure the instructions will have a suggestion of where this should go. And maybe even a tip on how to open this stupid box. What is wrong with me? All right, here we go. All right, this is like one of these L pads or whatever you call them. So just a big potentiometer to adjust volume. So, all right, looking good so far. Let's take a look at instructions and figure out what we need to go do to the game. All right, so I actually did get the speakers. I went ahead and got them out of the boxes because I had to take a look at everything. So here we got the 8-inch subwoofer, and it comes with a little crossover here. Here is basically an induction coil which acts as a treble blocker, and here's a capacitor which acts as a bass blocker. I'm not really sure why that's on here. I don't know. I don't understand the circuit in this case, but I guess I don't need to know. But that part I know for sure is what's involved with blocking out the treble signals. So it's only passing the low frequencies to the sub. So anyways, we got the two new speakers here, and these are definitely coaxials, and you know, they're shallow enough to where it's not going to interfere. That's the nice thing about, I think, this kit, is that a lot of the stuff's already been thought through. You know, you could go ahead and figure out your own speakers and all that. I just didn't want to fool with any of that. Plus, it's also got things like this. This is this bracket that's going to be nice to mount these speakers to this, and for it to fit in to the existing panel. You've got the little supply hardware here with a little push, what do you call these things? Is they're like little lock washer kind of things that actually hold. They'll be holding this bracket to the existing panel. It's got the wiring harness here. I can already tell without even looking at instructions, this is going to be for one speaker, that's for the other one, and then here's the cable where you would normally tie that probably just to this, and then this is going to go up on the board where you plug in the sound. But this is this whole little volume adjustment, which is going to basically intersect these two connections here and allow you to be able to dial down the sound on these two panel speakers and allow the subwoofer speaker to get the full full volume going to it. So and then there's a little bit of other hardware with it. So let's, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, I already showed you that. That's the panel. All right, for mounting the sub. So let's go take a look at the actual game and get ready to go put this stuff in. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of hit a start so we can kind of hear what it is. It's probably not gonna come across real great on my crappy phone here that's doing all this video work. Probably won't really capture the difference in the sound, but I'll do it here anyways.
I'm Crazy Bob.
All right, Crazy Bob.
Trapped by Junkyard.
We're not gonna run from Spike anymore.
I'm gonna go ahead and get a little power on it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start moving on taking the translight out, that whole little light box. We're gonna get this speaker panel out and laying down here. We're gonna go ahead and work on swapping out the speakers in the back, and then we will put that back in place. Then we'll pull the playfill up and work towards the bottom. Let's see. Let's unlock this. Let's get the light box here down. We've got a couple connectors we got to disconnect. Nice because you can get it completely out of the way. It's also kind of a pain in the ass when you want to just open it up just to go access the stuff you're just trying to get in there. But all right, so we got that out of the way. Let's lift this panel up, lay it down. Yeah, let's see. Actually, I think I'll go forward and get it completely out. Yeah, that's better. All right, so I'm going to kind of notice the way that the wires are positioned right now. So I've got, these are the speaker wires in particular. So I've got these wires coming in here. There's a harness there. I'm not harness, I mean I got a little cable holder there, one here. And this cable, it's this black one, and it's going all the way. Where do we got it going? It's going through these toroids. Okay, it's coming up here. Actually, it's marked back box. Go figure. So let's go ahead and disconnect this. I'm going to take this out of the picture because it doesn't need to be there. You know, one thing I've noticed is that this WPC 95 game, it's a lot less messy back here compared to some of the other games. So I certainly appreciate that. All right, and let's just kind of set that to the side. All right, let's get some tools out and start taking the speakers and everything apart. All right, so we got a ground wire here that's holding, one of the screws that holds that speaker in. It's got a ground wire. We're going to want to reattach that. Let's go ahead and take the rest of the screws out. We're going to reuse the screws on this left side. So, and I want to be careful with them because they're going into this plastic little, mount that goes into the panel. So they don't need to be real tight when I go putting them back in. So just try not to be too forceful taking them out either. So anyways, So let's set this over here to the side. That cable is actually soldered down to the speaker. So when I was taking this harness out, it wasn't just kind of clean it up. It needed to come out because it was just going to be in the way. So for this other side, we got a couple screws. Well, 4 screws we'll take out. Again, we got the ground cable. Set this in here for now. Let's get these others. This other speaker here, the small one, it's got a little capacitor here that was in series with it, which was acting as a high pass filter, a little bass blocker, and that's another reason why it sounded to me so tingy. But you know, it's a tiny little, it's not even a 3.5 inch speaker, it's a 3 inch speaker. Just not a good idea. All right, so we got the speakers freed up. Oh wait, I've got this other little mount. This is what was holding partially, I guess, yeah, holding that capacitor for blocking the bass. That was just kind of mounting that. All right, so we got that, the whole speaker's just out of the picture, and now we're going to work on carefully taking these little push washer, lock washer type of things. Just kind of carefully get those off. Really, really important that we don't break the plastic posts that are part of this panel. Otherwise, we're looking at relocating a new panel. I mean, that would be bad. So I decided to just go ahead and relocate this whole panel off of the game, bring it over here to the workbench. It's a little easier to get to everything, see things better, and just be a little more stable. All I had to do is just basically disconnect this ground cable from the back box where it's kind of tied in for the other ground, and left the ground cable that's connected here to the DMD, leave that alone, or left that alone. And then there was just 2 cables here that I had to disconnect, so no big deal, just to pull this out. So we got to take out on this right-hand side, we're going to take out these little lock washer things, these push locks, whatever. But they are not going to want to just pull off. The way to really get these off is clearly just going to be to cut them. The kit came with brand new ones, but we want to be real careful not to break these posts. So let's see if we can go back, just kind of clipping these, and then just pulling and prying it off. All right, so while I was trying to take these off, as you can tell from watching in the video so far, when I was just trying to use just my little wire cutters that I had here, I was kind of having a hard time getting that one little clip off. Then I went to some heavier wire cutters, and it was still kind of hard getting it off. So I just resulted, after getting that one off, the others, I went to a Dremel just to go ahead and cut it. Now, one thing that was probably not a smart idea is I'm throwing sparks all over the place, and I've got the little board over here. It's probably okay, honestly, but yeah, it's probably not a real smart idea in case something would have been zapped on it. So hopefully that did not the case. If you guys are doing it, I would probably throw something over that just so that you don't do something stupid like I did. But fingers crossed, hopefully that didn't screw anything up. That's probably all right. So this is just a little bit dirty. I'm going to clean this off, and then we're going to go get the replacement for this, that instead of holding a dinky little 3-inch speaker, we're going to hold a coaxial 5-inch speaker, just like the one that's going to go on the other side. Now with the speaker grill cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and put in this new little adapter bracket. There you go, it's seating in there just right. And now we got these new little push lock washer things, so I keep calling it probably the wrong thing. All right, let's open this bag up. Come on, bag, open up. Here we go. All right, so there should be 8 of these little, well, there's not one. Well, yeah, there are. They're just stacked on top of each other. Yeah, so we're gonna have 8 of these little things to push in. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take just a nut driver that just happens to kind of clear this. That way I can kind of seat it in position. and then use this to kind of gently just drive it down. Come on. Here we go. Yeah, that's nice and solid. Kind of work around other corners here, and then we'll come back in, get the rest of them. Again, I'm trying to be kind of careful this because I do not want to break these posts, but I don't want this panel to be loose. So they're going on pretty snug. And it needs to go a little more. Okay, that's going on well. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of these on here and go the next step. All right, so we got all the other little push lock washer things on there, and now it's time to place the speakers in position. I'm orienting these with the connectors kind of pointing up here because I think that might be a little easier to connect the wires to. All right, so the right side, it came with some new little screws. And we'll go ahead and put those in. Hopefully these are long enough. It said longer screws in the instructions, but these don't seem to be longer. So hopefully I'm using the right ones. They look like they're the right ones. This looks like a number 6 screw that goes in here. But we'll get these in position, and oh yeah, so anyways, the new screws that came in for the right speaker, we'll put those in, and then the original screws that came out of the left speaker, we'll use those to go put that speaker back in place. So let me go ahead and get these screws put in place. Also, this ground wire here needs to go back right on that spot. All right, with the speakers in place, let's get this wiring harness that connects the speakers together, and we can then hopefully just run this over back to the game, and we'll be hooking in that little the volume control, and then also the additional wiring harness that takes the connection from all this to the volume control, then over to the actual soundboard. One thing here I'm noticing, there's not a whole lot of slack, which can be good or bad, I guess. Let's see if we can get this all here. These are quite tight, which is tough getting them connected, honestly, but hopefully it's good, it keeps them connected. All right, let's see, maybe I should try to get this down here in this little harness, or I keep calling it harness, a little holder. All right, I think we're okay. I think we're good there. All right, so now I've got this nice and tight and put together, so I think we're good, ready to go put this back into the game. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and reconnect this ground wire over here. So run this nut off, put this back on, and run the nut back down, tighten that up. Well, if I can get it to thread on. There we go. Sometimes these have wing nuts, and this one doesn't, it's just a regular nut. But I'm a nut, so hey, that worked out great. All right, so let's tighten this thing down. All right, so there we go. We got that done. We've got 2 cables to hook back up to the DMD. So the power cable, and then here's the data. And there's a little notch here that needs to line up with that notch. Yeah, the red stripes towards the top. Okay, so now what we've got left is this is the cable that's actually going to feed to the speakers, but we're not going to deal with that just yet. We can go ahead and let's get this just up and out of the way for now. All right, let's go underneath here. Okay, so there we go. So we got it hooked up. Now what we're going to do is work on getting the little volume knob, put that in place, and then we can finish hooking up the wires here before we move on to the cabinet. All right, so here is this volume knob, and we're gonna find a place over here to position it. The instructions basically show that, hey, you can put it here. If you buy, there's an optional extension cable that I did not buy, and had I known, I would have bought. So if you do this, I'd probably recommend you do it. But there's an extension cable that will allow you to position, instead of positioning this here, you can position it like down in the front of the cabinet. So when you open the door, like where you're accessing the service buttons and the volume level, you could also access this. But I think that once I put this in place and we kind of get it adjusted how we like, it's going to be kind of, once you get it there, you just kind of leave it, and then you just control the overall volume, which controls all the speakers just through the normal volume buttons. But putting this here, one thing you have to kind of watch for is this cable here has got to connect to the actual speaker. So this connector that's here is going to be connecting to this. So we want to make sure that we're not too far away where that's going to bind or not reach. And I'm also probably going to have part of this cable kind of captured in part of the little cable holders here. So this location seems to be just about right. Plus I don't want to be blocking like screws or anything. So I'm just going to kind of mark this, just holding this kind of in place, and also keeping it kind of deep enough to where when we put the light box in, it's not going to be, interfering or anything. So let's see if we can get this in here, up there, and here. So I'm going to do this so I can get my drill out and put a couple holes in and get the screw started. So the volume knob is now in place. I need to connect a couple connections here. So going from the actual panel speakers to this cable, I'm going to go ahead and make that connection. I went ahead and tucked the wire around in a couple of these little holders, but I didn't take it all the way down here because I want to give it just this little bit of the slack, this mobility. The other end here, it connects up here, and I could go all the way around here, but because this thing's actually fairly long, but I'd rather not clutter up that area anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it right here, but I'll probably go ahead and take this cable, since it's kind of long, and just sort of bunch it up and put a zip tie to it and just tuck it away up here. All right, all the connections are done here in the back, so I'm going to go ahead and put this speaker panel back into position. And the only thing we got to connect here a little bit later, but not right away, is when we put this light box back in. Well, of course, we'll hook this back up. But I'm just going to leave this kind of dangling for now, because when we go testing things, we're going to want to kind of play around with this knob a little bit. But I think what we can go ahead and do now is kind of shift down to the lower part of the cabinet, and let's put that 8-inch speaker in, and then we'll start testing things. This is going to be pretty simple. We're basically just taking this cable, just disconnecting the speaker. Come on off of there. There we go. We're going to take those 4 nuts off those little posts, pull the speaker off. We'll slip this adapter ring on, use those nuts to then tighten the adapter ring back down. And then the new speaker is going to go into these different screw holes here with some new screws that are supplied with it. We'll reattach the cable, and we'll have it all installed. So when I hook the wires up here to this little this crossover, whatever, the treble blocker, there's basically an option. You can connect, of course, on the right hand side, you got to connect where it says negative. You got one wire that's going to go there for sure. The other, for the positives, you can either go to the low or the high. And what that's all about is, fine tuning it a little bit more. If you find that by connecting it to the high, if it's too loud, which I doubt it's going to be, but if it's relative to whatever you can do with the panel speakers, then what you can do is then actually bump that over to the low side, and it's supposed to drop it down a little bit. But I think we're ready. By the way, this connector, I don't know what this goes to. I got to figure this out, but that's a little side note. That's never been connected to anything. I don't even know what that's about. Still learning a lot about this Junkyard game. Okay, so we're gonna test things out and see how it sounds.
I'm Crazy Bob.
Oh yeah,
You're trapped in my junkyard.
this is a lot better.
We've got to use the junk to build a flying jalopy. We've got to get out of here.
And let's blow up that crazy Bob too, huh?
Alright, so what I can tell already is that there's a lot more bass response, and the harshness that I was hearing before on the panel in the back. Man, that's loud. Hang on a second. Turn the volume down a bit. That harshness is improved, definitely. It's still, yeah, it's still, you know, it is what it is, but definitely a lot better. And I've already kind of played around with this adjustment here. It's, you know, I'm somewhere around 2/3 of the way turned up on that side. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'm really pleased with it. I'm gonna put the back glass in and we're gonna wrap it up. We'll see you guys on the next video.